เพื่อไม่ให้เป็นการเสียเวลานะคะคิดว่าขออนุญาตได้เรียนเชิญนะคะขออนุญาตแนะนำวิทยากรเลยดีกว่านะคะวิทยากรในวันนี้ค่ะเราได้รับความกรุณาจากประเทศฟินแลนด์นะคะคุณอันนาเมอร์โกนะคะซึ่งเป็นรองผู้จัดการโครงการฝ่ายต่างประเทศของ KiVa Antibullying Program มหาวิทยาลัยเทอร์กูนะคะมหาวิทยาลัยนี้ก็มหาวิทยาลัยชื่อดังนะคะมหาวิทยาลัยที่มีชื่อเสียงมากนะคะเป็นมหาวิทยาลัยที่ผลิตพัฒนาครูฟินแลนด์ด้วยนะคะแล้วก็ปัจจุบันเนี่ยต้องบอกว่าโครงการ KiVa ขอเรียกว่าโครงการ KiVa นะคะกิจกรรม KiVa เนี่ยดำเนินการไปแล้วใน20ประเทศนะคะแล้วก็ครอบคลุมนักเรียนกว่า 350,000 คนนะคะก็ต้องบอกว่าเป็นโครงการที่ประสบความสำเร็จมากทีเดียวนะคะสามารถออกไปใช้ได้หลายประเทศซึ่งประเทศไทยก็อยากจะได้คำแนะนำจากทุกท่านด้วยนะคะว่าเราจะมาปรับใช้ยังไงได้บ้างซึ่งกิจกรรม KiVa นี้เองหรือโครงการ KiVa เนี่ยค่ะก็จะมีทำหน้าที่ในการให้คำแนะนำโรงเรียนนะคะหน่วยงานในการที่จะพัฒนาระบบป้องกันแล้วก็การเฝ้าระวังหรือการบรรเทาเรื่องของการบูลลี่หรือการกลั่นแกล้งนะคะแล้วก็มีการทำงานกับกระทรวงศึกษาวัฒนธรรมประเทศฟินแลนด์ด้วยแล้วก็มีการติดตามประเมินผลต่อเนื่องมานะคะว่าการทำงานนี้ได้ผลหรือไม่ได้ผลอย่างไรประสบความสำเร็จหรือไม่นะคะตั้งแต่ปี 2009 นะคะก็หลายปีมาแล้วด้วยนะคะก็ถือว่าเป็นโครงการที่ได้ดำเนินการมาระยะยาวพอสมควรนะคะก็เห็นแล้วก็ได้พิสูจน์นะคะว่าโครงการนี้สามารถที่จะสร้างการเปลี่ยนแปลงเรื่องสุขภาวะในโรงเรียนได้นะคะในฝั่งประเทศไทยเองค่ะเราคิดว่าเราก็ในไทยเองเราก็มีตัวอย่างดีๆนะคะของการทำงานด้วยเช่นเดียวกันวันนี้เราก็ได้รับเกียรติจากครูใหญ่นะคะวิเชียรชัยบังนะคะเป็นผู้อำนวยการโรงเรียนลำปลายมาสพัฒนาจังหวัดบุรีรัมย์นะคะแล้วก็ยังเป็นภาคีเครือข่ายโรงเรียนพัฒนาตนเองนะคะหรือว่า TSQP นะคะ Teacher School Quality Project เนี่ยของกสศด้วยนะคะทำงานด้วยกันมาตั้งแต่ปี 62 นะคะทำงานยกระดับคุณภาพโรงเรียนพัฒนาครูผู้บริหารนะคะให้กับเครือข่ายโรงเรียนประมาณ 600 กว่าแห่งทั่วประเทศนะคะก็ในวันนี้เองนะคะก็คิดว่าก็ถือว่าเป็นโอกาสการรู้สำคัญนะคะก็คิดว่าขออนุญาตได้เรียนเชิญคุณอันนานะคะได้นำเสนอประสบการณ์จากประเทศฟินแลนด์แล้วก็หวังว่าทุกท่านนะคะจะได้ร่วมกันแลกเปลี่ยนนะคะถ้ามีคำถามขอให้ใส่เข้าไปในแชทได้เลยนะคะแต่เดี๋ยวจะมีการเปิดเวทีให้ได้เปิดไมค์ได้ถามคำถามสดกันด้วยนะคะก็คิดว่าน่าจะเป็นการเรียนรู้ร่วมกันนะคะแล้วก็พยายามที่จะหาตัวแบบนะคะในการที่จะดูแลช่วยเหลือนักเรียนในประเทศไทยให้ดียิ่งขึ้นต่อไปด้วยนะคะก็I think without further ado I think I would like to invite Anna Merkel from the KiVa Antibullying Program. Finland has inspired us in many ways, and I think today is such a great opportunity for us to learn from Finland again, and which is a very important issue. I mean, how to actually develop tomorrow well-being of students. And I think that we also very look forward to learning from you about how school actually can offer students safe learning environment by implementing programs that prevent bullying and related intervention program. I think at the end we would like to have safe and happiness school for all, actually for both teachers and also students. So thank you so much, Anna, and the floor is yours. Thank you.
And so let's get right to it, and let's start by defining how KiVa raises awareness towards the problem of school bullying. But first, let's take one step backwards, and let's first start by defining what bullying is, so that we are all talking about the same phenomenon. A widely used definition is that bullying is systematic, aggressive behavior against a person who finds it difficult to defend himself or herself against the perpetrator. There are two key elements which are important to remember here. The first one is that bullying is repeated, so it means that it happens several times. The second key element is that there is power differential, which means that somehow the bully and the victim are not on an equal status. The power differential can come from different facts. For example, the bully is older, or the bully is physically bigger and stronger, or the bullied student is maybe a new kid in the school and doesn't have any friends yet. They don't know anybody in the school. So the power differential can come from different facts. We know from international research that bullying is a universal phenomenon, and about 10% of children and adolescents worldwide are systematically being bullied. The form of bullying is not central in the definition. So when we are thinking whether something is bullying or not, it is not central to think about the form of bullying, in what form the bullying is manifested. That is not the most important thing. We have to think about the two key elements, power imbalance and repetition. KiVa program is based on the fact that bullying is a group phenomenon. So rather than concentrating on the bully and victim only, the whole peer group plays an important role in bullying situations. Kristiina Salmivalli, the co-creator of the KiVa Antibullying Program, investigated the different roles students have in a bullying situation in her doctoral thesis. And before her thesis, the interest or the focus in research was on the bully and victim only. But in her doctoral thesis, she widened the scope of attention to cover the whole peer group. So she discovered that most students have a role in a bullying situation, even though they are not bullying themselves. So let's have a look at these different roles. So first of all, you can see in this first picture that there is the bully represented by roughly 8% of students, and then there is the victim. We know that there are roughly 12% of victimized students in an average classroom. Then 7% of students take the role of assistants of the bully. So what does this mean? They do not initiate the bullying themselves, so they are not the starters of bullying, but they are happy to help. They wouldn't start the bullying behavior themselves, but as soon as there is the right opportunity, as soon as they notice that the main bully is starting to do what they are doing, the assistants are there ready to help or assist the main bully. Then 20% of students are in the role of reinforcers of the bully. This means that they do not feel for the victim, so they don't have empathy for the victim. They don't think that defending would actually have a good outcome, so they don't defend the victim. But rather than helping the bully with concrete physical action, they give signals that bullying is acceptable or even fun. So they might cheer, they might applaud, they might laugh loudly to let the bully know that what he or she is doing is actually quite amusing and fun and entertaining for them. And so this prolongs the bullying behavior, because the bully thinks that then, of course, this is my audience and I can continue what I'm doing. 24% of students are represented by outsiders or bystanders, as we call them. They do not take sides with anyone because they might be shy or they might be afraid. They lack the feeling of self-efficacy, so they don't really know what to do in the situation, even if they don't accept the bullying behavior, and they do have empathy for the victim. So they are feeling very anxious and uncomfortable in the situation. Nevertheless, they turn their back or walk away. So they don't have the necessary skills to react in a good way in the situation, so they walk away. And the victim interprets this as a signal that bullying is okay. So even though outsiders do not accept bullying behavior, they don't know what to do. So for the victim, it feels that they do accept bullying behavior, even if it isn't the case. Only 17% of students dare to defend the victim. Defenders are often well-liked, popular, admired, and they have lots of friends. The program aims to promote empathy towards victimized peers, to raise awareness on the role that the whole peer group plays in the bullying process, and to provide safe strategies to support and help the victimized peers. Why is it then so important to change the attitudes of the students? The bully is usually more interested in the reactions of the bystanders than the victim. If the bystanders' reactions aren't anymore awarding for the bully, they won't have the motivation to bully anymore. Changing the attitudes is possible, and it requires consistent, long-term, and well-planned efforts from the school staff. Also, teachers' attitudes have an important impact in bullying prevention. Our studies have shown that if teachers show clear anti-bullying attitudes at school every day, it can have an important impact in the students' behavior, which can reduce bullying in the long run. So students observe their teachers and peers' anti-bullying attitudes and reactions in bullying situations. And when the overall attitude is that we don't accept bullying in this school, the bullying behavior will reduce. The KiVa program influences teachers' attitudes by informing about bullying behavior and its negative consequences, but above all, by offering practical and efficient tools for teachers to prevent bullying and intervene in it. In the late 90s and early 2000s, the Finnish government made significant changes in the basic education legislation. In the school health promotion study conducted by the Institute of Health and Welfare, they noticed that bullying didn't decrease even though two important amendments had been made in the Finnish basic education legislation: the right to a safe learning environment, free of any form of bullying, violence, or discrimination in 1999, and the obligation to have a written plan for bullying prevention and intervention in 2003. So basically, all schools needed to have an action plan against bullying, and it was also mandatory to put the plan into action and to be able to prove that something had been done if there was an inspection. So the background for this need was the increased bullying and the decreased feeling of security during the school day. With these results, the Finnish Ministry of Education decided to make bullying prevention their priority and mandated for the creation of an anti-bullying program that would be available for all schools offering basic education. The ministry funded both the development of the program and the implementation for a number of years. The development of the program started in 2006 with a randomized control trial, meaning that there were KiVa schools and control schools. The implementation of the program of these two groups was evaluated between 2007 and 2008. And when the evaluation ended and the program was proven to be effective in reducing bullying, all Finnish schools could join in 2009. The KiVa Antibullying Program was developed at the University of Turku with the program co-leaders, Professors Kristiina Salmivalli and special researcher Elisa Poskiparta. And these two ladies are still directing the program, and there is still ongoing research all the time. So what does the word KiVa mean? It is actually an acronym for the Finnish expression kiusaamista vastaan, which means against bullying. But KiVa exists also as a Finnish word in our vocabulary, and it means nice, kind, or fun. So when we talk about KiVa schools, it means that they are nice or kind schools. So the situation after the introduction of KiVa is that almost 90% of all Finnish schools offering basic education have at some point been KiVa schools. So we have been able to spread the KiVa know-how very widely to the Finnish schools offering basic education. Over the years, KiVa has improved school children's psychosocial well-being, school liking, motivation to learn, teachers' attitudes and their competence to reduce bullying. And in addition to all this, and more importantly, bullying has steadily decreased since 2009 when the program started. And the same trend has also been measured in another independent national student health survey conducted by the Institute of Health and Welfare. Similar trends have also been reported in other countries where randomized control trials have been conducted. Prevention is the core of KiVa. However, as Professor Salmivalli said in the introduction video that you saw before the event started, that we are realistic and know that no matter how much preventive work you do, there will always be bullying. So in addition to the prevention, schools need also effective ways to tackle bullying coming to their attention. So schools need clear guidelines on what to do when there is an actual bullying case in the school. And of course, we also want to minimize the negative effects of bullying. And to support our goals, KiVa methodology includes universal and indicated actions. So universal actions are the core of prevention, and they are targeted to all children. They include student lessons and online games and are directed at all students. The purpose of the lessons is to change those harmful group norms and negative attitudes that enable bullying. Indicated actions, on the other hand, are to tackle bullying cases that come to attention of the school personnel. And they are targeted at children involved in bullying, either as bullies or victims, but also bystanders are involved in these KiVa team discussions. And then the third component is monitoring, which allows us to identify the school climate, see the effects of the KiVa actions, and react accordingly. And monitoring is done through yearly surveys to students and staff. The aim of the student lessons is to raise awareness on bullying as a group phenomenon, the negative consequences of bullying, and practice being in a group. The lessons also promote social emotional learning and communicate important values such as equality and embracing difference. Students practice through stories, images, videos, group discussion, gamified exercises, and role play. So they gain important collaboration skills and constructive strategy on what to do when they witness bullying and how to support the bullied student in a safe manner. And the lessons include a lot of learning by doing. The KiVa team takes care of the indicated actions and so is responsible for sorting out emerging cases of bullying in cooperation with teachers. The KiVa team is especially trained to tackle bullying cases following a specific KiVa procedure. The team sits individually with each child involved in the bullying, first by talking to the bullied child, then to the children involved in bullying. The children are challenged to change their behavior and the situation is followed. And everything is written down in specific forms. A follow-up interview is included in the process to make sure the bullying behavior has really ended. Bystanders are also invited to support the bullied child during the process. And parents are always informed about these interviews. And the discussions have a solution-oriented tone and the punishments are not favored. The purpose of the yearly KiVa survey is to inform schools about the current well-being of the children, follow the quality of implementation over the years, and to take informed decisions to improve the learning environment. The survey investigates how often and for how long students have been bullied, whether they have been bullying others, whether they feel lonely at school often, whether they feel accepted in their class, etc. The survey enables schools to allocate resources where they are most needed, as schools get year-level specific results. The survey is done online yearly by both students and staff, and it is anonymous. Parents are informed of the program by the school at the beginning of the school year, and this happens every year. Parents also have access to the Parents' Guide, which instructs them, for example, on how to discuss bullying at home with their children. Our Parents' Guide is also available online for free. In this slide, I've gathered some cultural factors that might affect the implementation of the program. First of all, the teacher's pedagogical competence is a key factor in the success of the student lessons. The teacher should understand different learning styles, master different teaching methods and techniques, be ready to experiment, and sometimes also get out of their comfort zone. For example, not all teachers are used to role play or learning by doing activities. Also, KiVa was developed in Finland, where there is little or no hierarchy at school. Teachers are called by their first names, and they are very easily approachable. If there is a lot of hierarchy in the school system, children won't necessarily have the courage to speak honestly to their teachers about bullying incidents that they have witnessed or their role in these incidents. Furthermore, the teacher's role in the KiVa lessons is rather that of a facilitator, someone who asks the right kind of questions to enable children to discover the answers and solutions on their own, not that of the only expert in the classroom who has all the answers. In some countries, there is a consensus on the fact that bullying must have serious consequences on the bully, and therefore punishments are favored and required. This might clash with our program, where punishments are not recommended as such. In such countries, the KiVa team discussions may be perceived as a rather soft method. Also, the degree to which parents want to participate in the solution of bullying cases varies from one country to another. The KiVa team should be given the opportunity to solve the bullying case first at school, and more importantly, the children should be given the opportunity to change their behavior and learn from the process so that they won't repeat the same mistakes again. Sometimes the intervention of parents can be counterproductive if they are included in the process from the very beginning on. It is common for all parents to get emotionally very involved when their child is in question. This applies to bullying matters, but also any other matters. In our program, we recommend to always inform the parents about the KiVa interviews, but parents are only invited to the school to discuss the situation if the discussions did not have the desired effect and further actions are needed. Legislative issues vary a lot between countries. So, for example, in Finland, parents are usually informed only after the KiVa team's discussion. But in some countries, parents have the right to attend the discussions, and therefore they must be informed already before the discussions take place. Last, access to IT systems has an impact on the success of the implementation, as the student lessons include videos and online games, and the yearly monitoring is also done online. So in this slide, I have gathered some key factors that, according to me and my team, contribute to KiVa's success. It is research-based, so we know that there is evidence that it is effective. It has been widely studied in Finland and abroad. Also, it is a whole school program and it is consistent. So we are not talking about a short-term project or a one-off theme day. It is a consistent program that the schools implement every year systematically. as I already said in the first point, it is scientifically proven to be effective in reducing bullying and victimization. Also, the feedback that we have received from schools is that it is a ready-to-use, easy tool for school staff and teachers to both prevent bullying from happening and intervene in it. It is indeed adaptable for different cultural environments. There is also ongoing research all the time at the University of Turku, so we are constantly looking for new solutions. And human resources is the last point, and it is a very remarkable, important one. So the success depends on the people working in the school. Schools need people that believe in the program and are ready to speak up for it and are ready to invest time and effort for bullying prevention. So these are the contributing factors. So how we work with local governments and partners. First of all, we provide training and support, constant support to our licensed partners. The materials that are developed for the KiVa program in a new country, it is done in collaboration with our licensed partners. The licensed partners then have the right to market, recruit, train, and assist the schools locally in their area. So that is why we have a licensed partner organization collaborating with us, because they are the experts of the school contexts in that area specifically. And of course, we give access to our licensed partners to a global KiVa network and peer support from other licensed partners. So the idea is that our licensed partners have the chance regularly also to learn from other licensed partners' experiences from other countries, and they have a chance to share problems and solutions and best practices. So what would happen if we were to find a licensed partner organization that would start spreading the program in Thailand if the program became available in Thailand? So what are the steps that are needed before this can happen? So as I already explained in the previous slide, we work with licensed partner organizations abroad. So first, we would need to find a potential licensed partner organization. And what kind of organization is that? Well, it is an organization that is ready for long-term commitment. So as I explained earlier, KiVa is a program that aims to change group norms and is it has the goal to change the attitudes of entire school communities. So this is not a short-term project. It is something that requires long-term commitment and long-term work. So that is why we also need to find suitable partner organizations that are ready to step into a collaboration that is going to last for many, many years. Of course, the licensed partner organization should have enough financial resources now, but also in the future years to be able to cover the expenses of the delivery of the program. What we really wish for when we are looking for a licensed partner organization is that they would have expertise in psychology, supporting schools, training schools, delivering prevention programs. So we indeed look for partner organizations that have already some kind of expertise in the field, or for example, they already have an existing network of schools that they are working with. So after finding the potential licensed partner organization, we would then start translating and localizing the materials to Thai language. So when I say localizing, I mean that there are some cultural references in the KiVa materials. For example, in some stories that are read out to children, there are references to Finnish culture or Finnish geography, or for example, the fact that there is snow. These kind of things can be localized to the local culture environment so that they are suitable and that they make sense to the teachers and children that are then going to be delivering or receiving the program. The translation work is quite extensive because we have quite a wide variety of materials. So we have 3 different teacher manuals for the whole age group, covering children from 7 to 15 or 16 years of age. So there are a lot of lesson plans, a lot of videos, a lot of stories, video games, presentation graphics, and all that. So the translating process is a rather long one. Usually the whole material production requires more or less 1 year. So from signing the contract with a new licensed partner in a new country to actually starting the implementation in the schools, 1 year is necessary. So in the meantime of the translation work happening, we train the licensed partners team here at the University of Turku. We have been arranging our trainings in online mode during the COVID period, but now we are slowly getting back to on-site training. So we are actually welcoming international trainers to be here in Finland, in Turku. So after we have trained the licensed partners team, then the team is ready to market the program and recruit schools and then train schools. So before the implementation of KiVa can start in any school, it is mandatory for them to go through a KiVa training so that they understand what they are getting into. It is really important. As you might have understood from the presentation and from the videos before, KiVa is a rather complex program. It means that as it is a whole school program, all staff members need to be on board. So it is very, very important for the success of the program that the staff members really understand what the program is about and that they have a clear understanding on the roles, what is expected from them. What is my role? What is my colleague's role? What are we supposed to do during the school year? So training is very, very important. And the licensed partner organization is the one that will then train the schools. And as the implementation in the schools can begin, then the licensed partner organization and their certified KiVa trainers are those that offer also continuous support to the schools during the whole school year. So we do not recommend that the licensed partner just trains the schools at the beginning of the school year and then leaves them on their own. The idea is that there are follow-ups and that there is a continuous dialogue between the licensed partner and the schools so that they are able to follow the situation and help with any challenges or problems that may arise. Who do we collaborate with currently? Here we have listed some types of organizations that we work with currently. So our licensed partners abroad might be, for example, ministries of education. Then we work also with NGOs that aim to support children's mental health and well-being. We also work with some publishing houses, professional training companies, but also with universities or teacher training departments. So this is kind of the field that we work in the KiVa program. And here is a slide about our licensed KiVa partners globally. So as you may know already by now, we distribute KiVa internationally through licensed partner organizations. And KiVa is currently available in 23 countries. It has been translated into 16 languages, and it is used daily by more than 350,000 children. And if you want to know the numbers in Finland, so in Finland, we have roughly 890 schools at the moment implementing the KiVa program. That means around 230,000 students receiving KiVa every year. And abroad, we have more or less 1,200 schools and 120,000 students. And KiVa is quite widely available. So we have schools in many countries of Europe, but also, for example, in New Zealand and in Argentina, for example. So we are constantly looking for new licensed partner collaborations. And of course, our goal is to spread the KiVa program and to make it available for as many children as possible. So if you would like to ask something, here are the contact details that you can note for yourself. So if you have further questions about the KiVa program or about bullying or about the licensed partnership, go ahead and write us to this email address kiva@kivaprogram.net or visit our website or Facebook. Thank you so much for your attention.